Hello, and welcome back. I know what you're thinking. Will they ever change the theme song? Probably.
We're trying, but I feel like it's been
There's been a lot of hurdles with it.
yes, and
Unexpected hurdles. But we're not like we love music. We were born and bred to really on a soul level love and appreciate music. I cannot play music. I could, but it's free form.
I do, but it's more of just like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's the task that you don't remember until you're at the place where you can't do the task. But you got to be like, remember that task, and then you never remember it. And yeah, and you just we've been trying to like change it, and it's just a lot of weird hurdles. But like, I think it's one of those things that once we actually do it, it'll be good.
Oh, we've got ideas. We've done some recording.
It was chaotic in a very good way, I think.
We'll see how it shapes up. You'll know when you hear it.
You'll hear something different and you'll like it.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to Night Cheese Book Club, your favorite podcast with your favorite sisters. I'm Suzanne, and this is Presley.
See, didn't that just flow?
It felt clunky in my mouth.
No, I think
I like that.
It sounded better.
Clunky. Like chewing on a bunch of like nuts and bolts.
Well, no, people think about that.
What robot throws up nuts and bolts? What is that?
Oh, I know.
In the live action Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
When the robot throws up, it throws up nuts and bolts. I like that.
Hilarious.
Yeah, good on yous. Well, the topic of today, episode 54, Backrooms and YouTube horror.
You know, this is really going to get Gen Z's blood pumping.
Yeah. Buckle in, babies.
Yeah, you're here for your movie.
Yeah, we know about YouTube. Listen, we know about YouTube.
This review is coming from two non-internet people. I'm slightly internet, but in like the most millennial of ways where it's completely adjacent, and I don't know what I'm doing other than those millennials who are just really, really into it, and then Gen Z who grew up with it, where
I'm so glad to have had the internet experience that I have, because I still feel very apart from it.
You're still, as an older millennial, you are very much more removed.
Oh, yeah.
Even so.
As a poor older millennial. So it was like you had a library computer.
Yeah.
For the most part. And then like MySpace.
You know what?
And that seemed so advanced.
But we know what dolls are.
Yeah, we did dolls.
LLZ, which we asked Kayla about, and she didn't know what it was. So
yeah. I did LimeWire and SoulSeek, if you're in the know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just trying to find art.
That's enough. That's sweet. That's all we need to know.
That's all you need to know about us.
But now we'll just so since we last talked, I'm assuming I wrote something different, so we didn't do the same thing, because I'm assuming you're talking about.
Did you look at my paper?
I did not.
I left it in the living room all week.
Why would I look?
Curiosity.
I don't appreciate the accusation. Well.
All right, well, if we pick different things, then it means that you know that I picked the pocket books
you
event.
Couldn't have picked my thing, because my thing was
different. You didn't
leave
your paper.
And I didn't leave my paper unattended like an asshole.
Whoa. Oh, that's why I did it. I'm surprised you picked up on that.
Yes, no, I'm
slowly claiming more rooms of the house.
I knew it.
With urine and with items.
With book papers. No, I figured we'd talk about the pocketbooks thing.
Yeah, so very cool book event. So, listen, not to be obsessive, she's okay with it.
She likes us too.
Old RH knows that we stalk her a little bit.
We don't stalk. We just appreciate her art.
If you've met like one of your all-time favorite authors and they're like the coolest person.
I was about to say, they're actually like, it's like one of those meet your heroes, but they're actually very nice.
And then they like consistently just keep making cool art, and they're such a kind, thoughtful person who then does book events where they speak about things where you go, I am seen. I am thinking.
Yeah.
Women.
And it's so nice. And like, she's not on a list. She didn't say anything racist.
Yeah.
Of course we like her.
Of course we like her.
What's not to like?
She's fashionable.
Yeah. And
She's
funny and nice.
funny.
And nice. So nice. And
So
recognizes
nice.
us. Like, that's
And
a.
I mean, we like all of those things too, but truly going to her book discussions where she is talking about different like writing things and ideas behind books and just, societal perceptions. It's so interesting, these book discussions, which is why we brought our entire family, including my best friend Amanda,
That's true.
and we all went and saw this really cool event. So Pocket Books is like a queer feminist bookstore in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, run by three really cool who pick books that are like cool books now. They have a lot of like forward thinking books. They support a lot of local artists, and they put on a lot of really interesting book events. This was one of them, and they picked a few different like wedding horror things. And because, as we all know, Rachel's new book, Kiss Slay Replay, is a vampire wedding time loop situation, she was invited, which is how we first clocked it. And then seeing it was Pocketbooks, seeing it was local, and then seeing that there would be costumery involved, we were like, well, I'm on board.
Yeah. Like, a lot of thought goes into the events. This one, just as much. It was so nice. And like, they had a thing where it was at a wedding venue, like just like a local Lancaster one. It was very pretty, very nice.
Well, anyway, it was a great time.
Yes, we weren't just having technical difficulties and forgot what we were talking about.
Presley, what have you been up to since we last talked?
I was gonna say my dear friend Sophia's birthday party that Kayla and I went to. What I like about going, so her birthday party, she does a lot of like cosplay stuff. So like this one, she was like, "You have to come in a costume," and I was like, "Okay, people are gonna be in some cool costumes, this and that." And I always go to costume parties, and half of the time I go and nobody's dressed up. That's been I've gotten. Stop staring at that. It's distracting me. Um, I've gone to so many costume parties where nobody's dressed up and they get me every time. And then I went to this one where they're like, everybody's wearing a costume, trust us, blah, blah, blah. I show up and everybody's in like their regular black clothing with like maybe like a small amount of a costume. And I'm dressed. And so Kayla dressed up as Ash from Pokemon, so like a bit of a costume. I'm dressed up as Pinocchio, but when he's turning into a donkey on
Donkey
Pleasure
Pinocchio.
Island because he's bad. Fully dressed as I've got lederhosen on,
Lederhosen. And a tail and ears.
and that was my costume. So I'm feeling. I feel like I want to know what level costume are we talking about then, because you know what? I'm just at this point, I don't know.
I wouldn't sweat it. A lot of people are just not living as theatrically,
Mm.
and
Not saying their costumes were bad. A
kind
lot of
are,
them
though.
were cute, but like when I'm literally a young boy transforming into a donkey because I want to smoke a cigar, I just feel like there's some disconnect.
There's so much wisdom in that. I remember at one acting summer camp, uh, one of the teachers said, young women are made to want to be the princess in the story. And that's fine. And for some people, that's really what they want. But are you going to have more fun being a bad donkey boy? You are.
That's
There's more
so
opportunity
true.
for comic relief. And I think, when you're trying to fill that void in your soul, being pretty can only get you so far. A laugh,
As
you can't
someone
compare to that.
as someone who's leaned more heavily on funny, I don't regret it for a minute.
Funny will heighten every other thing.
And I don't care. And like if there's a laugh to be had, I will go for it. And like I don't care if I look ugly. I don't care. To me, it's more I would rather laugh.
I would always rather laugh.
Also, I can't not. I think it's just how we've been programmed by mother.
True. True.
But anyway, that's what we've been up to.
Yeah. So we'll get into the meat of the episode. As you know, we're going to talk a little bit about it. And then what we're going to do is give you a little heads up when you should leave if you don't want any more spoilers.
Yeah, like if you need to watch this still. So
Backrooms.
So the summary, I just put this based on a popular creepypasta by Kane Parsons, who also directed it. It's hard to describe this movie, which I think is part of it, because it is just literally about kind of liminal spaces and like the strange feeling you get from a space that doesn't really have anything in it, and it's a space between spaces. Now I'm still doing my deep dive on the YouTubes as to see exactly where this came from or what it is, but I'm assuming it came like originally from the creepypasta, where it's like, if you don't know what creepypasta is, which would be surprising, but they're just these like weird stories that people put online, and like, is it true? Ain't it true?
Some of them are kind of poemy. Sometimes they're
Like
just somebody's personal account. Sometimes they're more fictional.
Sometimes it's Bigfoot smut. Yeah,
Sometimes it's Bigfoot smut.
You get a grab bag, which is the internet, I suppose.
Yeah.
But that's what this movie is.
It was strange. I watched moments of the YouTube and I said, it's not for this guy. Nope.
Well, that's what is good for the who's this for? To me, it is going to be Gen Z and younger. I think that maybe some like younger millennials like myself could like appreciate it, I guess. But I don't know if we quite understand it. Yeah. Which is where I think you come in, where you're just like, what is this?
I agree. I think that it is. So, did you have an actual description?
No.
Oh. So what I would describe it to people as is that there's this guy who's going through a divorce. He's getting some therapy. He is like the manager-ish person of a furniture store, and in the basement,
he's the owner.
Discovers a way into like these rooms that seem to go on forever, and there's just strange happenings that continue to increase as he goes. Yeah. And I would say that this is for people who like psychological thrillers. I think if you're into liminal spaces, if you like the weird bend that Nick Cage is taking lately with like the Lovecraft sort of stuff of like the color of space. And
what do you mean lately?
That's true. That is just him.
But also those are older.
That's just know that in my mind it is always like the pop culture is like 10 years behind. It's like Europe, you know.
When I say lately, I mean the last 5 years.
Yeah. And I think that if you're into like stuff like that, or like what was that weird one, that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, like the labyrinthy stuff? It's called like Brothers or something.
I don't think I saw that one.
You definitely did.
I did?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
It's like a crime, mystery, psychological thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I feel like I'd remember that.
I'm going to figure it out and put it on the Instagram. But I said that sort of stuff. And then also like people who like YouTube horror, who like reels that are like unsettling, people who like chasing trend sorts of things, or like knowing like what's hot now. I think that's somebody who would like this movie now.
If you're an internet person.
Yeah, if you're an internet, you'll probably
more than likely you'll be into this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then this is your warning.
We're headed into the meltdown.
Yeah, we're heading into the meltdown. You get out of here if you don't want to know.
Get.
Okay, goodbye. So what was your first impression?
So I said it was very dreamlike and vague, which I don't hate. But as a motion sickness girly, I appreciated that the whole thing was not found footage, and that even though it was very like dreamlike, there were still these like anchor moments where I could regain my sense of equilibrium.
Yeah, same. I spent a bit of time having to kind of look at the wall and watch it out of the corner of my eye because with emotion, if you are motion sick, do not go to see this unless you maybe take like a little something.
Put on your Dramamine patch or
Yeah,
something.
get like some mugwort patches and just because it wasn't horrible though, and like as someone who
It
gets like
wasn't that bad.
somebody gets real motion sick, like just be prepared.
It wasn't like Blair Witch running with a camera pointed at a face sort of
Yes.
motion sickness, but I mean, I like found footage. I wish that I didn't get so motion sick,
Same. I
but
love
I think it's protecting me.
the idea of it, but I
Motion
feel like
sickness.
it's protecting me from bad
Wow.
media.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but then again, a lot of the time when it happens, I'm like, this is kind of cheesy. Like, I don't know.
It definitely it's like having a cool outfit or like acting cool where it's like you have to get the exact right balance for it to be good.
Yeah.
And what that balance is, no one knows. It's indefinable.
I
Je
feel
ne
like
sais quoi.
it would be genuinely like real found footage.
You know, maybe you're right. Like really committing to the bit. And the actors in this were great.
Okay, and that's what for favorite characters, uh now and I guess we'll start out with this. I did like the acting a lot, and I feel like this could have very easily been a shit movie because of the acting,
That's true.
because the premise of it isn't quite like the plot was there, sort of. It wasn't like intricate, and that's the problem with it, where like a lot of things that have this kind of good idea aren't, it's just not made correctly, and then it kind of like loses interest. And then like if it's not detailed enough of an idea, then it's like there's not much to work with. I will say the acting in this really, I think, heightened it to the point where like it actually was like a good movie and like interesting to watch.
That's so true. That's very much like social media, like mini movie sorts of things, of like reels and just content in general, where it's so dependent on the like intrigue of the individual making the thing. Because like if you didn't have the right person in this situation, you wouldn't keep watching it.
Yes, and especially because this one I would not say is necessarily dialogue heavy, so you need somebody who's like really
Mm,
kind of somebody you want to watch
acting,
doing stuff. And I
yeah.
would say that literally everybody in this movie, I felt that way. Like it was fun to watch. Um,
Who is your favorite character?
so I'm gonna go with Clark, the main character, just because I said he's so wildly self unaware until he is self aware and then goes too hard into being self aware and then is like justifying things. And I just loved it because I was like, who hasn't been there? You know what I mean? Where you're just like, I don't act that way. And then when it hits you and you're like, I do act that way. And it kind of breaks you a little because you're like, oh no. But then you're like, you know what? Maybe it's everybody else's problem. And I'm like, good for you, Clark. What a crazy take.
Mine was similar. I also said Pirate Clark.
Pirate Clark?
Specifically Pirate Clark.
Okay.
Um, but I think that I like that the therapist was there and that it's providing this like, you know, like when you're doing a scene where you need sometimes having the straight man to be like, this is
Mm,
unusual, that isn't real, sometimes can heighten the other stuff and really like brings in the perspective of like what if. I liked that Clark was unlikable because he was so honest, and like even when he wasn't, you could see that it was part of his struggle,
mm.
and that just this like overarching journey to know yourself, which is so relatable cuz
Yes.
it's
Or
quite a mystery.
and I like that, like with having the therapist involved, and when Clark is having these things where he's like, "That's just who I am," and she's like, "Then be it." then be, and then he's like, I guess that kind of goes into my favorite part is literally that part when he's like, this fucking creature is gonna kill him and he's holding him and he's like, it's fine. She said we can be this way. I loved that part so much where I was like, that's it. That's exactly what it's like being a human where you're just like, she said it's fine that we act this way.
We just are. And then, yeah.
And being
And then
so,
the reality of like the intensity of like primal instinct.
yeah, and then it just like fucking kills him. And like, that to me was just so funny where it is like, where you gotta have a balance there. And when you don't, you destroy yourself. But, and what I do like about all of this is it's like, is this movie that deep or is this just like the thing and like you've kind of overthought it? But that's really the fun thing about books and movies, I guess, is where you kind of interpret it into your own thing. And like that's really what I took out of it, where it's like when you become so unapologetically yourself that you are justifying also bad behaviors, it is self-destructive. And like, I don't know, but just in a really comical way. So that was my favorite part.
I said that mine was bringing the employees in. I like discoverability in
I
a
was
plot.
I was gonna say you probably like the part with the maps.
Yeah. Trying to figure things out with the maps. They have this plan that they're going to like do some documentation, climbing down that little like chute sort of
My
thing
God! And
reminded
then
me so much of when Marissa climbed that down that tunnel into the spider
our
den.
our brave friend, just that's the kind of behavior she would do. Where like, yeah, they climb down into very clearly some sort of nest, some sort of murder den, we shall say, and then they were all like, "Where'd he go?" And I'm like, "Get out of there!"
And like, just give me another minute here.
For
Bring me
what?
up.
I can see a blood stain. For
Yeah.
what? And there's just piles of laundry. That's already a red flag.
I already don't want to be there. Somebody's
Yeah.
going to ask me to wash these.
There's chores down there. Get out.
Yeah, that should be your first instinct. I said it was closely followed by the like fighting the pirates scene, which felt so much like dreams that I have.
It was, and then gosh, when like you get to the door and the door doesn't open and you're just like that part where you're like, what reality timeline is he in? He's not in the first one. And can he ever get back there? Who knows? And just the dread of that setting in is like, oh my God.
Yeah. It was interesting. There was a lot. And to touch again on like what you said a little bit, where I like that it was, I don't know, I think it kind of sums up what modern content is, where it's like it has no meaning, but it could have a lot of meaning. And I mean, maybe not even just modern content, like art in general is like what you want it to be and not
Yes.
necessarily even what it is. Like after you make a thing, it then belongs to whoever you've shared it with. And that there's so many moments in this that have that you can overlay deep meaning onto them
That's so true.
and
That,
get so
yeah.
much out of it, but at the same time it also can just be like this strange artsy conceptual
I think that
floating.
is the beauty of simplicity with it then, just because like you can create so much more out of that than having somebody be like, well, this is X, Y, and Z. And here's the ending. And here's why. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I will say, so I did sort of its last impressions, we'll say, of it. But mine was just that Gen Z really wants to be inanimate objects, like a chair or a lamp for some reason. They just kind of want to
Have purpose.
have purpose, but also as an object. And I'm not so sure what that means. And I'm still figuring you guys out. As a millennial, I don't get it.
Maybe because we were raised to believe in this like failed dream where it's like you're still on this hamster wheel chasing a thing that you won't have.
That's so true.
But they were like,
What?
hey, everything's on fire and the wheel's broken.
No.
Just kind of be.
What if you were just lamp? And I'm like, what does that mean though?
The simplicity of being lamp.
What if you were just a shelf?
What if you're just an ottoman and your entire purpose is for this person to rest their legs on you?
I think that's why, as a millennial, I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I'm like, well, maybe.
I could see your side of it.
That
It's
sounds
fine.
nice.
It's okay. You can be that way.
Um,
It's okay.
and I will also, I will also say we're too nice. That the younger generation's horror is so strange to me, and like where things that are scary to them, because Kayla does this, because Kayla's Gen Z, so she'll be like, this thing's scary, and I'm like, is it? Am I just jaded? I don't know. But like to me, I find a lot of the time they think that creepy children drawings are scary. And I'm like, to me personally, not scary.
No, throw it out. You're going to have too much of that. Just
Yeah.
get rid
I
of
don't
it.
it's not going on the fridge.
Yeah.
But for them, they're like, what does this mean? This child saw a monster. And I'm like, then that's the child's problem.
A lot of meaning was put into it, you know?
Yeah. Um, it's, I'm not so sure I'll ever understand, but bless them for it.
My like final thoughts on it. I said that I like the conception of this, that like it originally was a meme on 4chan. I don't know what that means. And then became this like YouTube series and then was a video game.
Is Reddit 4chan now, but Reddit's like more classy, but it's still not.
I think that 4chan is like there might be some bad stuff there,
That's what
but
I'm
it's
saying.
similar to Reddit.
I think 4chan's
Bad?
a bad place.
Did you see? I think my thing just glitched when we said that. It's listening.
I don't.
4chan's fine. I honestly don't know. Listen, I'm gonna say something, and I could be wrong about this. I feel like is 4chan's like for racist stuff, right? For you to be like racist on a forum.
I think it's that. I think it's like fucked up things, like say whatever you want kind of things, and I
like
don't know.
the freedom to be your depraved self,
maybe, or like yeah, I don't know, but
which I'm not. I mean, that's fine, I guess. You do have the freedom to be your depraved self,
yes.
But like, ick.
You're not allowed in the civilized areas, but if that's where you want to like be in some sort of slop, go for it, I guess. But
there's always going to be slop buckets.
Yeah, like,
you know,
for some reason, if somebody said like when I was on 4chan the other day, like if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I need to see what you were doing, and then I'll decide if I like you.
I'm glad not to know about it.
I too, yeah, like I need a trusted adult to explain what the 4chan is to me, and then
somebody tell us what 4chan means.
Yeah, but I
Lester.
feel like
what is it?
I don't think well,
Lester probably knows,
maybe, but I don't know what it is still.
But I like that progression. That then it's like a YouTube, then it's a video game, and now it's like. I mean, it really did well, and Kane Parsons is 20. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool. But really, really awesome. All right, we're gonna get into the fun bits now. We're gonna give you our rating, and then we're gonna play a little game.
Yeah. So for my rating, I did say I like it, and to me that is only because I don't think it's necessarily for me, but I did like it. It was a good movie, and like I'm glad that we saw it. But I did say that it would have been a little bit higher of a scale if it didn't have the found footage stuff. I don't care for it normally. It was done in a way where it was okay, but I don't think it needed it. And in fact, it kind of maybe took me out of it a little bit more. So I don't know.
So in our rating system, absolutely not like it, love it, gotta have it, Hollywood handshake. I have circled the it from like it. I'm closer to love it than I am absolutely not. But yes. I do like it. I would say, and this is splitting hairs in a needless way, the experience of going to the theater, having a fun night watching this weird movie with my sister, that I loved. That was a solid love it.
Okay.
The movie itself is a like it. Okay, I liked it. I probably wouldn't watch it again. If it was on, I would probably, I wouldn't be opposed to gandering.
I would watch it if somebody put it on at a party in a background setting and then somebody wanted to explain more things to me. I'd watch it again. But yeah, I'm not going to watch it at home by myself. But no, it was good.
Yeah. So that's where we stand on it.
Mhm.
So let's get into the fun games of things. This game is called Take Me Through Your Back Room.
I think the best part about that was that you said it and you didn't even mean it in like a weird way.
Listen, we do a very old school brainstorming style here on Night Cheese where we're trying to work through a creative idea. So you don't,
Yeah.
you could say the wrong thing, but you're in a safe space. So you just keep saying words and saying ideas until it like starts to flesh into a thing.
Yeah, yeah. It molds itself, but a lot of the time the pieces are weird.
Yeah.
Not 4chan weird, Reddit weird.
Like Tumblr weird.
Uh
Or like TikTok weird. Or like Vines.
okay, yeah, Vine weird. Yeah, yeah,
Vine,
yeah.
that's the kind of
Yes,
weird
you know
we
what?
are.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've hit it. See? Brainstorming works. So Take Me Through Your Back Room is going to be the game where we've kind of written what we think the other person's back room would look like. I don't like how that sounds. Oh man.
Yeah, you shouldn't be imagining my back room.
I don't.
That's for me and God.
But yeah, so I just kind of compiled what I thought Suzanne's would look like. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. I'm going to take you through it. This is Presley's back room, by the way, everyone.
It's clean.
It's the food counter at Costco. It's very hot dog focused right now. A labubu is clipped to a ring on the floor, and you lift it, and it lifts the floor tile. Underneath, there's a staircase. You descend the stairs, and it slowly turns into a kawaii nightmare. Petal pink walls, white leather couches, plush white carpet, stacks of squishy candies and slimes. In the corner, you see it's not actually a corner, but a hallway, and it's leading to more hallway. There's a trail of piqueno peppers. It leads to a room with a ball pit full of piqueno peppers. You jump in. It's not good to jump in. They just kind of squish. But you keep digging deeper, and under that is like Lorcana cards, and you're pushing them, and you crawl out through, and you're the size of a dice on a giant Lorcana mat. There's stacks of cards. You're walking around. It's not really clear what the purpose of this is, and the dimensions are kind of wrong. In the corner of your eye, you see dachshund butts wiggling away around corners. So you're following them, because why not? It's leading to more hallways. You're following more dogs. You follow and catch up and find that it's a cat-dog sort of situation. And the front of the dachshunds is actually cats.
Okay.
The front parts is cats. And then you're in another room. The center of the room is cat trees piled up. You're going to climb the cat trees. Reaching through a hole in the ceiling, you're back out to the hot dog stand.
I would live there. That sounds very pleasant to me.
Yeah.
Especially that guy in the movie with the like eyes where it's kind of hard to look at him, optical illusion, if that's what the cat's faces are. I like that too.
Their crusty eyes.
Yeah, and I got to clean them out.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds wonderful to me. Besides the fact of if I was at the Costco hot dog and there wasn't hot dogs, then it's a nightmare. So
I mean, there's hot dogs.
okay, if there's a hot dog, then I'll be fine. Because that part in the movie where they're like, you just eat them, and it was like that weird fluff goo, whatever that was. It didn't look unappetizing, but it didn't look appetizing. It kind of looked like the movie from Hook. So or the food from Hook,
Mm-mm.
where you're like, when you,
Yeah, the pasty stuff.
yeah, like,
In the moment you're like, wow, is that like fluff, like marshmallow fluff?
but
But then the more you look at
wasn't.
it,
It
the more you're
was,
like, this is Play-Doh,
you're
and
like,
it's not going to be flavorful.
that's wet. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you this and the other 30 people who listen to this. So I was talking to Cliff and Jen about the Shrek box that's in South Philly that somebody took like a newspaper box and turned it into a Shrek box.
Mm-hmm.
Take a Shrek, leave a Shrek.
Like a shrine kind
Yeah.
of deal.
And they said that there's a trinket box like that at the like Weed Cafe in Lancaster. And I was like, I mean, I love a trinket, but like what kind of trinkets would be there? And we were saying like somebody should do one of these. And I was like, a hot dog box would kill in Lancaster.
Like you
Take a dog, leave a dog. And that it's hot dog related things.
Okay, because I was like, I would not eat a hot dog someone had left there.
But somebody might.
But somebody might.
Like if you left like a fresh Wawa dog on there.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not going to eat that.
I like the idea of a themed box, and I like it being hot dogs. I mean, my God, who doesn't? Okay.
Can Kayla build that? Where would we find a newspaper box?
I don't. I don't think so. I don't know. That's
Yeah. It's in the swirl.
sure. Now, my
Yeah, tell me about my inner back room.
your back room is. I like how much thought you put into that. Mine was a little bit more simplistic, like the movie, I think. So yours would be, it would be a library, but it's empty. And then when you like go in, there's just a stack of garden soil. And like there's just stacks of it everywhere. And then like how they had the like different objects, it would just be planter cups, like half here and there, and you just trip over them. Yeah. And garden hoses kind of sticking out of things, and you trip over them. And then some of the rooms would just be very smoky, and there would be an air fryer in the middle of the room. There's nothing in it, but it's just bellowing smoke. Just smoke. You're choking. But there's just smoke everywhere in this whole room. And then I think there would be audiobooks playing, but they're like self-help books, but they're on repeat, but they're saying like, they're not quite saying the end of it. They're kind of saying like, this is how you do it. And then they stop and then it replays. And then there's lots of, and this is reminiscent of childhood bedroom, a lot of rooms that you can't quite stand up in or you hit your head. And it's kind of shaped like triangle at the top. And you're just like, why? And you just want to stand up so badly.
But you can't.
But you can't.
Because you're in an attic.
Yeah.
Or a basement.
Yeah.
I like that. That fits.
And I pictured the soil room being more of a lounging room.
Yeah.
So.
You know, if you don't care, dirt can be very comfortable.
Yeah, especially if it's in its like plastic pack. You could shape that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was thinking free dirt that you're just shaping into a couch.
No, this would be in its pouches or whatever you call them. Soil bags.
Yeah, soil pouch. I like that. You know, and now that you say it, gardening lends itself to becoming kind of back roomsy anyway.
That's true.
Because it is very free form and it's a lot of random stuff.
That's true. And you kind of make something out of nothing. Although, to be fair, I think when you see how the sausage is made, it's a little less scary because you're like, nah, a lot of work went into that back room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those were our back rooms. I hope you liked them.
I liked it.
They're not as jarring as everyone else's. They sound quite pleasant.
Yeah. I don't aim to terrify. If I do, you'll be terrified. But it's few and far between. Maybe once every 3 years.
That was ominous in itself, huh?
Yeah, just wait for the next one. I'm coming for you.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time. Poetry Corner.
Poetry Corner.
We know you wait for it. You go first because mine's real weird.
Mine's also strange, but I like it.
It's the point of all of this.
All right, poem start. Pirate Clark, you disturb me. But oh, that spark. Adventures on the high sea of consciousness? Or perhaps liminal nothingness. What? End poem.
Pirate Clark would love that.
Thank
His
you.
eyes would just bulge right out of his head.
And then he would try to grab my face and maybe want to bite me.
Mine went sillier. So, poem start. Backrooms, backrooms, funky wonky backrooms. Why do you exist? Backrooms, backrooms, fuzzy nuzzy backrooms. What if you had to piss?
True.
So do you just
At least one of them corners smells like pee.
yeah, like do you have to pick a piss room or something, and then how do you remember which one it is?
And what if it moved?
Exactly, and then yeah,
That's
so,
true. That's true.
just where my mind went. What was your cheese pairing?
So I said that this is the processed cheese on a breakfast sandwich that you get from a gas station. And it's good when you need it, but it's just something about it. Like, it's not really food, and it has no, like, food category, really.
And it like kind of gives you heartburn.
Yeah. And it just, like, it is just the thing that it is, but it's also not another thing.
Like you're not sure how it was made, but it exists.
And you're like, well, yeah, it's there. Like, sometimes you need it.
You're like, somebody made this, but I don't know who.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
What kind of cheese did you pick?
I picked Swiss just because it has like holes and different things, and like especially depending on the brand, sometimes it's really weird and like you're like, ugh, weird, bad, or sometimes you're like, delicious. So just a weird cheese.
I like that.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right, friends. Well, that wraps up our episode for today. So we like to end on a positive, which is probably why our back rooms are less dark than others. Uh, Presley, what are you thankful for this week? What's your grazie and goodbye?
I said that I like that this was something where one, we went out to the movies and there was a lot of young people there and like people having fun, and it wasn't like nobody was being disruptive. Everybody was there to watch it. And I liked that. And it like brought people out to like see a movie with their friends and stuff. Um, but I like that this small creator created something that we went to a movie theater to see. And it was like this, and it just shows you the power of creation and art, and like, that these other like Iron Lung and stuff like that, like these things are getting more popular where it's like, no, you don't have to be a Hollywood blah 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 to make these things. Make your art, and like that, other people might like it and comment and like on things.
Leave it 5 stars.
Wink.
Now.
Please.
Mine was similar, where I said that I'm thankful for weird art and that, there's always this threat of AI and it's not great. And, it's, we peons have no control over that. But even when they are trying to make everything conform into the capitalist hellscape and that everything is like commercialized and able to be commodified, you can still see that somebody's weird art and weird creative process is way more just, I don't know, it has like such a zeitgeist kind of moment, and it has such a way to build community, and it's like a truthful thing.
I like that. And I like the idea of some like bigwig somewhere pondering why it does so well and that they can't quite figure it
They're
out.
probably furious that they put so much money into like Aquaman or whatever.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
I
they're
know
like,
what he likes.
why the hell is this shitty YouTube then made an insane ratio of money compared to what was put into it? And it's like, if you just let weird art kids make the art for the rest of the world and then like pay people in a way where you can like have downtime,
Yeah,
the
like,
peasants won't revolt, literally. Like, We just want to get our freaking teeth cleaned, you
Yeah.
know?
No, yeah, that's good. Just the idea of them being like, "What's it about? Back room? What a pirate?"
It's like a dream. It's a video game. They could understand that. And I think that's why they're like, well, it's a video game. Video game movie does well. Video game show does well. It's more than that, buddy. It's weird.
Maybe.
It's weird. It's horror adjacent. I don't know, but I liked it.
Yeah. So that's all we're saying about it. If you want to check out the movie, definitely, yeah, go check it out. I think it's
Yeah.
worth checking out.
Tune in next time. Like Presley said, like, subscribe. Please give us 5 stars. Follow us on Instagram. Tell your friends. Please just play 60 seconds of this on somebody's phone.
Please. And just, yeah, put it on your parents' phones, your grandparents. They can't stop you.
They don't know.
They don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, mess
right.
up their algorithm. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Read your cheese.
And eat your books. Auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye.
Bye. I'm going to leave them all up.
You're paranoid. You're paranoid.
I am paranoid.
That's fine.
I've been burned before.
That's fine.
All right, all right.